beating in Dauphin Island. My goodness, so much rainfall coming down, being driven by that howling wind. And of course, we know that this rainfall is going to continue to add up really quickly in a lot of places. That's why we have so many locations under flash flood warnings at this time. We want to show you some of the radar estimated rainfall that has been seen recently. Pensacola, one of many spots that's estimated to have seen more than 12 inches of rain. And that's just as of now. There's going to be more. Unfortunately, Sally keeps throwing some curveballs. It's recently done a little bit of strengthening, and a little bit more of that could come. Here's a look at the current watches and warnings. Of course, we all know the most frustrating part with this particular storm has been the slow crawl. It's expected to make landfall sometime on Wednesday, but that's more exposure to things like storm surge, which is not good. More exposure to things like really high winds. And we're going to continue to see 60+ mile per hour winds for so many spots. The storm continues to move inland, bringing rain. A lot of it, as you can see, locally at the coast up to 30 inches possible, but several locations up through Georgia and beyond could pick up 4 to 8 inches or more. Sally is lashing the Gulf Coast, flooding streets and homes as it inches towards shore. It is moving at a glacial speed, as slow as 2 miles per hour at times, and could bring historic rainfall and life-threatening storm surge. Now, it's expected to make landfall sometime Wednesday, could be early, could be later, somewhere between southeast Mississippi and the western Florida Panhandle. In Alabama, water and sand is inundating parts of Dauphin Island. Emergency officials say they had to rescue about a dozen people who got stranded. The barrier islands already clocked a wind gust of nearly 60 miles per hour. In Bayou La Batterie, just south of Mobile, the storm caused at least 2 riverboat casinos to break free from their moorings and crash into docks. In popular Orange Beach, waves could be seen ripping apart boardwalks. In Florida, the governor has declared a state of emergency for 13 counties. You can see the surf that's in Destin, and that is all the way to the beach access point. Flooding has forced several streets in the Panhandle to close. In Pensacola, a construction barge broke loose from its moorings and got trapped beneath the Pensacola Bay Bridge. The bridge runs from Pensacola to the city of Gulf Breeze. It was closed when winds reached 39 miles per hour and will remain closed until the storm has passed. All right, Sally could wind up bringing a lot more damage. What we're seeing is only the beginning. We've had water piling up on the roads, transformers blowing, leading to power outages. And as we take a look at the latest storm surge forecast, we can tell you that this has been extended a little further off to the east. Now, in terms of the high tide, if the surge hits during high tide, it can cause even more damage. And so we're looking at that peak surge near and just to the right of the center, some very strong winds that is propelling all of this rain. So places are just literally getting beat with rain, and because the system is moving so slowly, it's a very, very long couple of days that we are looking at. The wave heights are very substantial, and of course, because all being driven by the wind and for such a long time, we could be facing significant beach erosion when this is all said and done. The rainfall forecast, that is such a huge story in and of itself. 10 to 20 inches of rain possible for many locations, but locally up to 30 inches possible for some spots.
And Chris Bruin is in Pensacola. Chris, we look at those rainfall amounts that have come in your area. We look at the rainfall coming down right now, and we understand why we've got the problems.
Yeah, you know, I saw a report on social. Somebody in Perdido Key is saying in their backyard there's nearly 2 feet of water. Now, it's hard to tell if that's fresh water or salt water or a mixture of both. Probably a mixture of both, because the surge has been high, and that's something else that we haven't had a chance to really talk about a lot, because we've got a little bit of a seawall here. But if I were to have a flashlight and show you what it looks like, or if it were daylight, you would be amazed just by how high the waves are. And again, this is just the bay. This is Pensacola Bay, and we've seen some significant water rise because of that surge and that onshore push. Now, winds are continuing to come up, and we have seen power outages continuing to climb. The latest tally right now, over 22,000 customers here in Northwest Florida without power. And then in Alabama, that number is even higher. It's actually nearly double, about 43,000 customers or so without power. Remember, customers is a whole household, so that could, population-wise, that could be a lot higher. And these are likely going to top out much higher than that. So expect many more people to lose power, especially as we get into those strongest core winds. And remember, this is going to be a beating here. It is an endurance event. It is something we have to watch.
No changes in wind speed here. Pressure dropped. Northerly movement 2, that didn't change either. It's about 75 miles now south of Mobile, Alabama, but only about 45 miles to the south of, say, Gulf Shores, Alabama. So that could be a place that gets hit first. If you're going to take this right up the center cone here, it's come maybe up through Mobile Bay, but I think it's going to hit some of those barrier islands first and hit us pretty hard. Hurricane warnings Gulfport to just past Pensacola for us tonight, with tropical storm warnings going farther north. Storm surge is going to be an issue, as Chris was alluding to. Lately, we've had more of an east wind, but as the system comes in, and coastal Florida could see as much as 4 to 7 feet of water rise and wave action on top of that.
It's what you're seeing kind of wave between me and the camera, the sheets of rain coming on through here. Reports of some areas already picking up 10+ inches of rain, and that could be about half of what some areas will see here. So a 20-inch rain event, maybe a 24, 25-inch rain event, not out of the question at all with the approach here and landfall of Hurricane Sally. So that's going to be a big concern, even miles and miles away from here, even up towards the I-10 corridor. If you're within, say, an hour drive of the coast in Alabama and points eastward, you have the potential of dealing with flash flooding with Hurricane Sally. It's amazing what we're going through here. And this storm really just popped up a few days ago, and we're still going to be dealing with this for a few more days with this slow jaunt on shore.
Well, second casino just broke loose. Ooh, it's crushing the dock. Ooh. Here's the first one.
Heavy rain and strong winds are coming. Hurricane Sally is slow but ambitious, and many people in the Magnolia State are stocking up on food, waiting in long lines to get fuel and evacuate off the coastline.
When you got to replace your home, your roofs, and your property and stuff like that, you lose everything. That hurts.
In Waveland, Mississippi, a town devastated by Hurricane Katrina, David Hubbard owns a hardware store. He's keeping it open as long as he can to help the community board up their homes.
Well, I guess it's like earthquakes in California and things like that. It's life. You know, you just live with it, you prepare for it, and you do the best you can.
A mandatory evacuation here in Waveland, Mississippi. I just pulled into this parking lot about 2.5 miles from the Gulf of Mexico, and I want to show you this. Check this out. There are boats and RVs here in this retail shopping center that people have parked at. They're concerned that obviously the storm surge will cause incredible flooding and that they'll lose their properties. But take a look above at the pictures and look at how many people are staging here. They've put all of their equipment and their big trucks and their shrimping boats like the one behind me to try and be safe. And many people have left town already. Others still trying to make their way as Sally is getting closer. 50 miles to the west is New Orleans. Sandbags are in place with the hope that if the streets flood, the stores will not be inundated. Cafe Beignet is in the French Quarter and was serving customers this morning, but closed at 1 p.m.
It did shift a little bit, so we're not exactly sure what we will be getting today. And then we will be shut down for the next 2 days as well.
Though the track of Hurricane Sally is leaning more east now, the uncertainty of strength and rainfall totals is not being taken lightly in the Big Easy. These friends from Philadelphia, here on a quick getaway, are not taking chances.
Yeah, we came in to celebrate her birthday, and yeah, we were looking to stay till tomorrow, but everybody said we should evacuate.
From Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle and spinning northeast as the week progresses, Hurricane Sally is set to bring a barrage of life-threatening rain and wind. Robert Ray, The Weather Channel.
Personally, this one, Laura, it took everything. The winds from this hurricane was 10 times worse than it was for Rita. I've been here all my life, 30-something years. This is where I've lived forever, and it's hard to leave. It's completely gone. That'll have to be torn apart and hauled out. I'll have to, purchase something else to put there. It looks like a bomb hit it. I would say the biggest challenge is trying to find the places that are assisting with ice and water, because it's not that they're not here, because they are, but the lines are so long that you can't logically sit in a line and burn a half a tank of fuel for a bag of ice and a tarp. Going forward, mainly it's getting the property cleaned up, and I don't know from there, because the funds to purchase something else, I just don't, you kind of just don't know where to go, or if you're coming or going. It's crazy. It's so overwhelming to try to think about how to get it done.
Since 2016, we've seen 11 hurricanes make a mainland U.S. hurricane landfall. That's over 4+ seasons, including what we've seen in 2020 so far. That doesn't include Hurricane Maria, which devastated Puerto Rico, but didn't land.
Street in Pensacola. If I turn the camera, it's really bad this way. My phone's getting wet. I hope I don't break it. But yeah, pretty bad. We've been doing live shots here, but they told us now it's too dangerous, so we're getting ready to pack up the truck. I just packed it up. We're gonna go find some cover. So stay safe out there, guys, and we're gonna go find some cover and bring you some live shots from a safer location because it's getting too windy and rainy and we don't want to get bad now. It's probably some of those strongest.
I'm running in the house. I'm over here. Just had a pretty strong gust there. That was strong. It scared me. I went in the house. And y'all, I'm pretty far from the shore. I'm literally about 5 miles from the airport going west. I'm trying to get this tree so you can see how